Okay, so on this worksheet, on the left we have functions f of x, and the right-hand column are graphs of f prime of x. So your goal is to match f of x with its derivative graph, f prime. So you want to ask yourself, when you're looking at the graph of f of x, does it have a minimum, a maximum, or a point where it does not exist? So to do this, draw a number line beneath the graph. If you see a point where there's a minimum, a maximum, or it does not exist, copy that point down onto your number line below the graph. So for part A, I don't see a minimum or a maximum, but there is a vertical asymptote here at 0. So the graph does not exist at 0. So I'm going to create a tick mark down here at 0. And above this number line, I'm going to write the sign for f prime. So f prime is going to be positive if the graph increases, and it's negative if the graph decreases. So to the left of 0, my graph is increasing. So I'll put a plus sign over here to the left of 0. To the right of 0, it is also increasing. So I'll put a plus sign to the right of 0. So now I can use this number line to figure out which graph for f prime this would match. So in my number line, f prime should be positive to the left of 0, positive to the right of 0, and does not exist at 0. So as we look down this column, it has to be positive to the left of 0, positive to the right of 0, and does not exist at 0. So that's this one right here. So remember, you're looking at the graph of f prime of x. So if f prime of x is positive, that just means that your graph is above the x-axis. So let's try another one. Let's look at part C. I have a maximum here, a minimum here, a maximum here. So I draw the number line. There was a maximum at -1. So for f prime, if you have a maximum, that means the derivative is 0. There's a minimum at 0, which means f prime is 0. There's a maximum at 1, which means f prime is 0. So to the left of 1, my graph is increasing, which means that f prime is positive. Between -1 and 0, the graph is decreasing, which means that f prime is negative. Between 0 and 1 is increasing, so that's positive. And then after 1 is decreases, so that's negative. So now I just have to find the graph of f prime that is positive to the left of -1, negative to the right of -1. This right here, positive to the left of -1, negative to the right of -1. And then after 0 it's positive, after 1 it's negative. So this graph would match with V.